In the far southern reaches of the World Tree, Yggdrasil lies a realm unlike any other, a kingdom of endless fire, searing heat, and molten stone. This is Muspelheim, the land where the air itself shimmers with waves of heat, and rivers of lava carve through blackened stone. Here, the flames never flicker out, and the night sky glows with the light of volcanoes that erupt in a ceaseless dance. It is a place of raw, untamed power, home to the fire giants, beings forged from the very essence of creation's most volatile force, and ruling over all is Surtr, a figure of such ancient might that even the gods themselves speak of him in awe and fear. His name means the Black One, a paradox, for he wields the brightest weapon in the cosmos, a flaming sword whose light can split the sky, and whose heat can reduce worlds to ash. Surtr's presence is both a warning and a promise. The end is never far, and from destruction, something new must always rise. Surtr is not merely another giant among many. He is the embodiment of primeval fire, a force that existed before time was measured and before even the oldest gods had taken their thrones. His origins are shrouded in the dawn of creation, woven into the very fabric of Norse cosmology. When the icy mists of Niflheim drifted into the burning winds of Muspelheim, it was from their meeting that life itself was born. Yet if ice gave the gift of form and structure, fire granted the power of change, the ability to destroy, to purify, and to begin again. Long before the Aesir gods built their halls in Asgard, before Odin's ravens flew over the worlds, Surtr sat upon a throne of living magma, his sword planted beside him. He is not a creature of petty vengeance or malice, nor does he scheme like Loki or gnash his teeth in endless rivalry. Surtr's role is set by the order of the cosmos. He is the inevitable ending, the one who clears the canvas for creation to begin anew. The sword of Surtr is the stuff of legend, whispered about in every corner of the 9 worlds. Though its name is lost to history, its reputation endures. Forged from the very flames of Muspelheim itself, the blade burns with an intensity that no water can quench and no cold can chill. It is said that its edge can slice through not only stone and steel, but through the very fabric of reality. Space and even time yield before its heat. Ancient runes, glowing with a primal energy, are etched along its length, marking it as the instrument of prophecy. When Surtr draws his sword, its radiance blazes so fiercely that it can be seen from every world. The runes carved into its blade are a record of fate's decree, a prophecy inscribed long ago. There will come a day when the old world must end, and on that day, Surtr's sword will ignite the skies and burn away all that is impure, making way for what is to come. The story of Surtr is inseparable from the tales of fate and prophecy that permeate Norse mythology. Nowhere is this clearer than in the ancient poem known as Völuspá. In this vision, the seeress Volva glimpses the end of all things, the event called Ragnarök. She sees Surtr leading his kin, the fire giants, out of Muspelheim and into the world of men and gods. From the south, they march, a tide of fire and destruction that cannot be turned aside. What stands out in these prophecies is that Surtr is not cast as a villain or a force of malice. He is not driven by anger, envy, or desire for conquest. Instead, he is the living embodiment of a cosmic necessity, the bringer of an end that allows for a new beginning. There is no escaping his coming and no resisting his purpose. He is the hand of fate, the agent of change, and the guarantee that nothing lasts forever. The relationship between Surtr and the gods is marked by a kind of solemn acceptance. Unlike Loki, whose trickery and schemes bring chaos and personal vendetta, or Jormungandr, the world serpent whose enmity with Thor is personal and violent, Surtr stands apart. The gods of the Aesir know him well. They understand that he is not an enemy in the usual sense, but a force that even they, with all their power and wisdom, cannot oppose. Odin, the Allfather, is the wisest of the gods. He has sacrificed much in his search for knowledge, even hanging himself from the world tree to gain the secrets of the runes. Through his journeys and his sacrifices, he has seen the shape of things to come. He knows that one day he and his kin will face Surtr on the battlefield, and that their doom is as certain as the rising of the sun. Yet in his wisdom, Odin recognizes that darkness is necessary for light to exist, and death is required for life to flourish. Surtr is not their destroyer, but the harbinger of balance, the one who ensures that the old gives way to the new. When the time of Ragnarök arrives, the world shudders. The bonds of fate loosen, and the order of things begins to unravel. Surtr, who has watched and waited through ages untold, rises at last. He calls to his people, the fire giants, demons of flame, and all the beings of Muspelheim. Though their numbers do not match the armies of Loki or the dead, their power is unmatched. Each fire giant is a living storm. Each step they take leaves burning footprints upon the earth. The sky darkens with smoke, and the air crackles with the promise of the world's end. Surtr himself rides at the head of this army, astride a steed born of pure fire. His sword blazes above him, a beacon that draws the eyes and fears of every living creature. The march from Muspelheim is relentless, an onslaught of heat and flame that turns the world into a furnace. They move toward Vigrid, the vast battlefield where destiny will be met, and all debts will be paid. On that plain, amidst the chaos and ruin, Surtr finds his destined foe. Freyr, the god of fertility, peace, and plenty, stands before him. Where Surtr brings fire, Freyr brings growth. Where Surtr ends, Freyr begins. But fate is cruel, and Freyr has come to battle without his own enchanted sword. Long ago, he traded it away for the love of the giantess Gerdr. Now, with only mortal arms to defend himself, Freyr faces the Inferno incarnate. Their clash is the meeting of opposites, creation against destruction, life against death. Though Freyr fights valiantly, his doom is certain. Surtr's flaming sword cleaves through all defenses, and Freyr falls, his sacrifice buying only a momentary pause in the coming devastation. Yet even this is part of the pattern. Life must yield to fire, that life may one day return. With his foe vanquished and the battlefield littered with the fallen, Surtr turns to his final task. He raises his sword high and hurls it skyward, a gesture both triumphant and mournful. The blade arcs overhead, its flames trailing like the tail of a comet, and as it descends, it unleashes a firestorm that engulfs the world. The flames leap from realm to realm. Asgard, home of the gods. Midgard, the world of men. Alfheim, the land of the light elves, and all the others. Nothing is spared. Forests roar as they are consumed. Mountains crack and melt, and the halls of gods and men collapse into cinders. Yet in this act, there is no hatred, no glee in destruction. Surtr is not a madman, but a servant of necessity. The world that was has grown old and corrupt, its wounds too deep, its flaws too great. Only by reducing it all to ash can something pure and unspoiled arise. Surtr's fire is both the end and the beginning, the cleansing flame that makes room for renewal. From the ashes of the old world, something miraculous occurs. Where the fire has passed, the land lies black and bare, but not dead. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, green shoots break through the charred earth. The sun rises on a world washed clean, its light gentler and new. Rivers run clear, and the air is sweet with the promise of rebirth. This is the lesson Surtr and his flaming sword offer, a truth as old as the cosmos itself. In the Norse understanding, destruction is not the opposite of creation, but its necessary partner. To truly remake the world, to allow for genuine renewal, sometimes all that came before must be swept away. Clinging to what is broken only prolongs suffering. Only the courage to let go, to burn away the old, can make space for what is to come. Surtr's legacy is not one of mindless devastation, but of cleansing. His fire strips away all that is rotten and decayed, leaving behind the fertile ground from which new life can spring. In this way, he is both feared and revered, an agent of fate who ensures that the cycle of existence continues, forever turning from ending to beginning and back again. Thus, the story of Surtr is woven into the very heart of Norse myth and philosophy. It is a reminder that every ending, no matter how terrifying, carries within it the seed of a new beginning. The fire that destroys is also the fire that purifies, and from the darkest night, the brightest dawn may one day emerge. So when the world trembles, when the old ways crumble and the future seems to vanish in smoke and flame, remember Surtr and the flaming sword. Remember that the end is only the start of a new story, and that from the ashes, life will always find a way to rise again.